In this video, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite speaking activities. This activity can be used in all levels, starting at the beginning level and going up to the very advanced level. It can also be used by all ages. I've used this myself in primary, secondary, and in teacher training exercises. In fact, if you've ever come to one of my teacher training classes, it's likely that you've seen this done in person, because I do it quite often because I quite enjoy it and I think the results are very good. So what this activity is called is parallel lines. So I'm sure you already know what a parallel line is, or what parallel lines are. Two lines that don't meet. So they go on without crossing each other. So we're going to use this structure in class to get students to communicate with each other. So first, let's get some students. I'm going to draw some circles here, and these represent my students. Okay, this is row A, and now I'm going to put row B. Okay, well, student 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm putting 10 students here. 10 is a really good number of students to have for this activity. I would recommend from 10 to 20. Over 20 students, it may get a little bit messy, though to be honest, I've done variations on this for groups as large as 100. But that's with adults. With young children, it might be a little bit tricky if you have over 20 students. But one thing you can do is to have half of your class doing some writing, the other half comes up and does this activity, and then vice versa, right? So you can do it in that way as well. Okay, so I have my 10 students. I want my students to talk to each other, so they're going to be facing each other. Right? Now, it depends on what I want my students to talk about as to how long I give them to talk. Now, like I said, I can do this with a beginning class. With a beginning class, I'm going to have a very controlled dialogue. So maybe I have them saying something like, what's your name? My name is yada, yada, yada. Okay, so maybe I'll have a 6-line dialogue, something like this. So student A or student 1 will say, hey, what's your name? My name is yada, yada, yada. With a higher level class, I can give them a much more complex much more complex topic to talk about. For example, if you come to my teacher training, after a coffee break or a lunch break, I may put you in 2 lines and get you to tell the person across from you what you learned during the first session. So let's do a really basic beginner class first. I'm going to ask the students to repeat the dialogue to each other. Everyone is going to be speaking at the same time. That's why it might get a little bit messy, right, if you have too many students. So all of my students are going to be talking to each other at the same time. If I have a simple 6-line dialogue, I'm probably going to give them about 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds to complete the dialogue. I'm going to be listening, waiting for the noise to die down, which means everybody completed their dialogue. At that point, I'm going to make a very loud noise. Maybe I'm going to clap. Maybe I'll have a bell or maybe a horn of some kind. And this is going to indicate to the students that it's time to stop and then time to move. So what's going to happen when I clap is this student is going to move over here. So now this student, 5, is going to talk to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. They're going to do the same dialogue again. Ah, what's your name? My name is yada, yada, yada. Okay. 40 seconds. I hear the noise die down. I'm clapping again. What happens if I don't clap in a timely manner and I'm with primary is that they're going to start playing around, right? We want them to do the dialogue, clap, and then move. Make it very timely. Keep it moving. Keep it movely. So, second time, clap. Same thing. The 4, the 5. 1, 2, 3. So what this means is that all of these students are going to have the opportunity to speak to all of these students. So it's a good opportunity to practice speaking. It's also a good opportunity to practice listening. And it's also good because I may have a really strong student here. This is my shining star, very strong student. And then I may have, maybe this guy likes to goof off a bit. I want to have the students, it's okay, maybe they goof off a little bit here, but I also want them to have that experience speaking to my very strong student here. So I want to get a mixture of the students they're talking to. Okay? So anyway, I think you get the idea. Some of you may have heard of speed dating. This is a very similar activity to speed dating, right? You're getting a chance to talk to a lot of people in a very quick time. By the way, this line is not moving at all. This line is staying the same. They're stationary. The other guys are doing all the moving around. So, like I said, this can be done for very controlled activity, but also for a more open activity. So if you're teaching an advanced class, you can just give them a topic. So, talk about the weather. And then they have to come up with their own, mini dialogue. What's going to happen in that instance is they're going to learn something from number 1 that they can actually then share with number 2. Or, they'll learn something from number 2 they can share with number 3. So they're going to be learning from each other in this more open dialogue. That's what I expect when I do the teacher training, right? Is they're actually remembering new things each time that they can add on when they get into the next, when they're talking to the next person. Great, so this is a really good activity. Like I say, it's one of my favorites. Try it out in your class and let me know in the comments what you think about it. Good luck. Thanks. Have a nice day.